The interrogation room smelled like burnt ozone and regret. Commander Vrellix of the Galactic Coalition sat across from the human, a scruffy-looking male specimen who had introduced himself simply as Marcus Webb. The human wore a faded jacket, boots that had seen better decades, and a smile that made Vrellix's three stomachs churn with unease. So, Vrellix began, adjusting his translator collar with one of his four manipulator appendages. We need to understand your species better. For the diplomatic records. Marcus leaned back in his chair, balancing on two legs in that distinctly human way that defied both physics and common sense. Sure, shoot. We will not be shooting anything, Vrellix said stiffly. It's an expression, buddy. Vrellix made a note on his datapad. Humans use violent terminology casually. Possible psychological warfare technique. He cleared his throat, which sounded like gravel in a waste disposal unit. Your species has a reputation across 17 star systems. A concerning reputation. Oh yeah? Marcus grinned wider. Let me guess. They're saying we're scary again, aren't they? Terrifying would be more accurate. Vrellix pulled up a holographic display. Battle reports flickered in the air between them. In the past standard cycle alone, human mercenaries have resolved 43 conflicts. Your win rate is 97%. We had some bad days, Marcus shrugged. Bad days. Vrellix's antennae twitched. The Kryn Dominion calls your kind the patient nightmares. The Silurian hive mind refuses to engage human forces entirely. And the Morgoth. He paused, his voice dropping. The Morgoth abandoned 3 colony worlds just because humans were hired to defend the adjacent system. Marcus picked at something under his fingernail. Sounds about right. This brings me to my question. Vrellix leaned forward, all 4 eyes focusing intently on the human. How do humans kill? The room got very quiet. Marcus stopped fidgeting. His expression didn't change much, but something shifted in his posture. Something predatory. That's a weird question, Commander. It is a necessary question. We need to understand what makes your species so effective at warfare. Effective. Marcus tasted the word like it was sour. That's one way to put it. Please answer the question. The human was silent for a moment, then he tilted his head in a way that reminded Vrellix of a Earth creature he had seen in the database. A raptor. Something extinct that had once hunted in packs. You want the real answer? Yes. All right then. Marcus sat up straight, and his casual demeanor evaporated like water on a hot plate. Here's the thing, Commander. You need to be more specific. How do humans kill? Well, that depends. Do you want it done slowly, or quickly? Vrellix felt his circulatory fluid run cold. What? See, that's your problem right there. Marcus's voice had lost all its warmth. You're asking the wrong question. You're thinking about killing like it's a single thing. Like there's one answer. But humans? We've turned death into an art form with about 1,000 different galleries. The commander tried to maintain his composure. Explain. Quickly is easy, Marcus said, counting on his fingers. Bullet to the brain. Explosive decompression. Orbital strike. Nerve toxin that stops your heart in 4 seconds. We've got options that'll end you before your last thought finishes forming. Clean. Efficient. Almost merciful, if you squint. And slowly? Marcus smiled again, but this time there was no humor in it. None at all. Oh, Commander. You really don't want to know about slowly. But Vrellix, despite every instinct screaming at him to change the subject, pressed forward. I do. For the records. Siege warfare, Marcus began, his voice taking on a lecturer's tone. We surround your city, cut off supplies, and wait. Weeks. Months. Years if we have to. We're persistence hunters, Commander. We chased antelope across continents until they literally collapsed from exhaustion. We can wait. Vrellix's manipulators trembled slightly. Psychological operations. We broadcast your own distress signals back at you. We let you know we're coming but never tell you when. We make you afraid of shadows and silence. Fear's a weapon, and humans have been sharpening it for millennia. This is barbaric. Oh, we're just getting started. Marcus laughed, and the sound echoed wrong in the small room. Biological warfare. Chemical weapons. We've created diseases that target specific genetic markers. Poisons that take days to kill, keeping victims conscious the whole time. Radiation exposure that destroys you from the inside out, cell by cell. Enough. You asked, Commander. Marcus leaned forward now, and Vrellix instinctively leaned back. Here's what really scares the other species, though. It's not our weapons. It's not our tactics. It's that we remember. Remember? Everything. Every slight. Every betrayal. Every casualty. Humans have gone to war over insults from 3 generations back. We've hunted war criminals for decades after conflicts ended. We carved the names of our dead into stone monuments so we'd never forget who we lost or why we fought. The datapad in Vrellix's appendage clattered to the table. So when you ask how humans kill, Marcus continued quietly, the real answer is however we need to. Whatever the mission requires. We can be quick and merciful, or we can be slow and thorough. We adapt. We improvise. We overcome. That's what makes us dangerous, Commander. Not that we're good at killing. It's that we never stop getting better at it. Vrellix stared at the human, finally understanding why 17 star systems had flagged Earth as a species of significant concern. Human threat level assessment, severely underestimated, is there. Vrellix's voice cracked. Is there anything else I should know? Marcus's casual demeanor returned like he'd flipped a switch. Yeah. One more thing. What? We really prefer not to. Kill people, Marcus clarified, suddenly looking tired. Despite everything I just told you, despite our entire bloody history, most humans would rather not kill anyone if we can avoid it. That makes no sense. Vrellix retrieved his datapad with shaking appendages. Your species has documented conflicts spanning your entire recorded history. Over 14,000 wars in the last 6,000 cycles alone. Yeah, and you know what every single one of those wars has in common? Marcus stood up and walked to the viewport. Outside, the coalition station hummed with activity. Ships from a dozen species docked and departed in orchestrated chaos. They all ended. All conflicts end eventually. Not like ours. Marcus pressed his hand against the transparent aluminum, leaving a heat print. The Kryn Dominion has been at war with the Silurian Hive for 800 standard cycles. The Morgoth have fought the Zenthian Collective for over a millennium. They fight until resources run out, then pause, then fight again. It's their natural state. Vrellix remained silent, waiting. Humans fight until we win, Commander. Or until we lose. But either way, we fight to end it. Because war isn't our natural state. Peace is. That is absurd. You just described your species as persistence hunters. As patient. As remembering every slight. Exactly. Marcus turned back, and his expression was intense. We remember the slights, but we also remember the peace. Every human soldier who's seen combat comes home changed. We don't celebrate war, Commander. We mourn it. We build memorials. We hold ceremonies. We teach our children that war is a failure of diplomacy. Vrellix made another note. Human psychological contradiction. Possible cognitive dissonance. Marcus saw the notation and laughed bitterly. You think we're contradicting ourselves? Are you not? No. We're being honest. Marcus sat back down, and the chair groaned under the shift in weight. Here's what the Kryn and the Morgoth and all the other species don't understand about humans. We're terrifying in war precisely because we hate it so much. Explain this paradox. It's not a paradox. It's motivation. Marcus leaned forward, his voice dropping to something almost conspiratorial. When the Kryn go to war, it's Tuesday. It's what they do. They're good at it because they practice constantly. But they also don't commit fully because there's always another war coming. They hold back. They preserve resources. They think long-term. Vrellix nodded slowly. This matched coalition intelligence reports. Humans, though? When we go to war, we go to end it. Fast. Decisive. Overwhelming. Because every day that war continues is another day we're not at peace. It's another day our kids are in danger. Another day we're not building, creating, exploring, living. Marcus's hands clenched into fists. So we bring everything. Every weapon. Every tactic. Every bit of creativity and violence and determination we can muster. We fight like cornered animals because in our minds, we are. You view yourselves as victims? Vrellix was incredulous. No. We view ourselves as people who just want to be left alone. Marcus's voice hardened. And that's what makes us more dangerous than any naturally warlike species. The Kryn fight because they enjoy it. Humans fight because you made us, and now we're going to make sure you never make us fight again. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Do you know what happened to the Drakvan Empire? Marcus asked suddenly. Vrellix did know. Every species in the coalition knew. The Drakvan had been a powerful force 3 decades ago. Now they were a footnote in galactic history. They attacked a human colony world. New Olympia. Population 4 million. Mostly farmers and scientists. No military installations. No strategic value. Marcus's voice was flat, reciting facts like a computer. The Drakvan wanted to test human resolve. They glassed 30% of the planet's surface. Killed 800,000 people. Men, women, children. Didn't matter to them. Vrellix knew how this story ended, but he stayed quiet. Humanity's response wasn't quick. We didn't nuke their homeworld. We didn't virus bomb their colonies. That would have been quick. Marcus stood again, pacing now. Instead, we dismantled them. Ship by ship. Station by station. World by world. It took 8 years. We shut down their economy. Destroyed their supply lines. Turned their allies against them. By the end, the Drakvan were begging to surrender. I read the reports. Did you read the part where humanity said no? Marcus stopped pacing. 3 times. They tried to surrender 3 times. Each time, human diplomats told them the same thing. Not yet. You started this slowly. We'll finish it slowly. Vrellix felt genuinely cold now despite his species' ability to regulate internal temperature. When we finally accepted their surrender, the Drakvan Empire had been reduced to a single star system. Their military was gone. Their economy was shattered. Their population was diminished. And humanity made them sign a treaty that forbid military expansion for 100 standard cycles. Marcus's eyes were distant, remembering. The human negotiator, a woman named Victoria Kane, told the Drakvan Emperor something during the signing. What did she say? She said, "We didn't do this because we're monsters. We did this because we're parents. And you killed our children. So now your children will grow up knowing what happens when you make humans choose between mercy and justice." The silence stretched between them like the void of space. Finally, Vrellix spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. So the answer to my question is both. Humans kill both slowly and quickly. No, Commander. Marcus moved toward the door, which slid open at his approach. The answer to your question is neither. Humans don't kill when we can avoid it. We negotiate. We compromise. We find third options. But when you force our hand? When you hurt our people? When you make peace impossible? He paused at the threshold, looking back over his shoulder. Then we don't just kill. We teach lessons that echo through generations. Vrellix watched the human leave, then looked down at his datapad. The blinking cursor waited for his final assessment report. After a long moment, he began typing, "Assessment update. Humanity represents the single most significant military threat in known space, not because of their capacity for violence, but because of their capacity for restraint. They are most dangerous when provoked because they fight every war as if it might be their last. Recommendation: do not engage humans militarily under any circumstances. Do not threaten human populations. Do not test human patience." Addendum: if peaceful coexistence proves impossible, strike first with everything available. Because if you give humans time to respond, they will not stop until you cannot start again. Vrellix saved the report, sent it to Coalition Command, and sat alone in the interrogation room for a very long time. Outside the viewport, a human transport ship departed the station, its engines burning bright against the darkness. Patient